Hello and welcome back to another season of PA Harness Week. I'm Sharla McBride. We are here at Pocono. It's the same great place. We're wishing it a happy 50th birthday this year, but it has a new name. It's now the Downs at Mohegan Sun Pocono. And we like the name, and we have a great show for you. Take a look at what you can expect to see in this next half hour. We are back for another exciting season of harness racing. On today's show, we'll have a feature on the history of the sport. Plus, we'll get the scoop on what's ahead for the 50th anniversary here at Pocono. Heather hosts the Dan Patch Awards in Orlando, and we'll check in to see how she did and tell you who took home the big awards. That's all next. It's the show with the hottest horsecasters on TV. It's all starting right now. It's racing's fastest paced half hour.
They're on.
Well, hello there, harness racing fans, and welcome to another season, our 8th of PA Harness Week, and they said it wouldn't last. Heather, what do they know, right?
Nothing.
Unbelievable.
We're totally here. It lasted.
We are here at Pocono, and the big event is going to take place when? Funny you should ask. Tonight, the 2015 racing season begins, and with a lot of fanfare, too, Heather.
Yeah, it's their 50th anniversary.
I didn't know that.
This is crazy.
Really?
Yeah. Wow.
Why did I tell you everything? Tell me nothing.
This track is
50 years old.
Is it older than you?
Ooh, that hurt. July 15th, 1965, this wonderful racing facility opened, and they'll be celebrating the 50th anniversary August 21st and 22nd with a special 5:30 post. I was made privy to that. Here at Pocono, the schedule is this. Post time is 6:30, and race nights are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And beginning on April the 12th through the end of August, they will have a Sunday added to that.
Okay, so Harrah's Philadelphia starts next Friday, and they have Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday live racing. The post time's at 12:40 p.m.
So it's a pretty full racing schedule. Pretty cool, right?
Yep.
All right. So Pocono is celebrating its 50th anniversary, and our Sharla McBride caught up with marketing manager Jenn Starr and vice president of racing operations Dale Rapson to find out what you can expect to look forward to and all the excitement of this 2015 meet.
All right, thanks, guys. It's a very big year here. Pocono is turning 50. It's the same great track, but a new name. It is now called the Downs at Mohegan Sun Pocono. And joining me now, two very important people here at this track. We have the Vice President of Racing Operations, Dale Rapson, and Jennifer Starr, the marketing manager here. Jen, I'm going to start with you. Happy 50th birthday to Pocono. A big year here. What kind of things can we expect this season?
Lots of celebrations for the anniversary weekend, August 21st and 22nd. Sun Stake Saturday, July 4th. We're just going to celebrate the entire season.
And you have been spending all winter long on this beauty. Tell us what this is.
Statistics for the last 50 years, lots of pictures. Plus, we'll have a couple stories in there, just some features on women drivers, a look back at the track, a look back at the fantastic surface that we have, something that everybody would like to look at and remember about the track.
All right, thank you so much. And Dale, I want to get to you a little bit. You've been here a long time, and you've seen a lot of changes with this track and a lot of great memories. We talked to a lot of drivers and trainers that have been here for a very long time. Why do you think it is that they decide to stay here, and why do you think they love this place so much?
Well, when I started about 35, 36 years ago, this was the track where if you couldn't race anywhere else, this is where you came, because we were that bad. But over the years, we made a lot of improvements, physical improvements. We've developed the best track surface in the country, and with the help of the casino and the money that we get for purses, now we got the best trainers and drivers. The purses are one of the highest in the country as far as per night average. So it's a great facility, and plus you race for great money, and we still keep the entertainment and the marketing going. So I just think it's a fun place to be.
Real quick, what are you most proud of about this track and the changes that it's seen over the years?
That we're still here, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I could get all the tracks that were racing in 1965 that are now out of business. I think it's a tribute to our employees most of all. I think that's the main key is we have great employees over the years that have kept this place going, and now that we've become one of the elite tracks in the country.
Perfect. Thank you so
Okay.
much. We're going to send it back to you guys. Happy 50th, Pocono.
Thanks so much, guys. It was so great to see everybody again. And we are hoping there are a lot of new viewers out there who maybe are just learning about harness racing. So I thought it'd be really important to give them a bit of history about the sport, because it is a century-old sport. And it just started out with guys saying, my horse is faster than your horse. So let's take a look.
Harness racing grew up with America, dependent on the horse as the linchpin of exploration, transportation, defense, and commerce. 150 years ago, when almost everyone had a horse, harness racing started as a friendly competition on country roads and city streets to see who had the fastest horse. Many towns had a race street where friendly competition was keen. Driving clubs were formed to organize races at local parks, and harness racing was a staple of county fair entertainment. The same horse that was used for harness racing brought families to church, goods to market, and cleared land for planting. In the mid-1800s, a registry was formed, and any horse who could meet a time standard for trotting or pacing a mile could be registered. Thus, the term standardbred was coined. Today's harness racing horses trace their ancestry back to Hambletonian, father of 1,300 standardbreds and namesake of the classic trotting race. For the first several decades of the 1900s, harness racing flourished in small-town America, with racing most often found at county fairs and short meets near big cities, where differences of opinions made for a brisk betting business. After World War II, the world changed and racing changed along with it. With no war to fight, iron and steel and labor were available to build large, permanent grandstands. Americans had more leisure time and money to spend having fun. Harness racing under the lights moved to the big cities and offered affordable evening entertainment close to home for millions. Today, harness racing is found from California to Maine, from upstate New York to Florida. Racing fans can indulge their pleasure in South America, Europe, and on the other side of the world, in Australia and New Zealand. A difference of opinion in any language will always make for a horse race.
Wow, Dan, that was fascinating stuff. And yes, harness racing is, in fact, before you say it, older than me, okay? So I'll dig myself, you know, self-deprecating humor. Okay, stick around, folks. When we come back, our Heather here is going undercover. She's going to Ireland, Faith and Begara, and her character, she'll be in the persona of Erin Gubralis. It's going to be an exciting adventure, ladies and gentlemen. And also, Heather, she actually killed several attendees at the recent Dan Patch Awards.
No, I killed it on stage. I didn't kill people.
Oh. You mean you knocked them dead, one of those things?
Yes.
You mean I took it literally and I shouldn't have?
Yeah. We'll just say I owned the stage.
She owned the stage. Find out, see for yourself how she owned the stage. But you got to stick around. Don't go away.
Life. It all comes down to the things you do, the places you see, the people you meet. It's all of the beautiful things, the incredible things, and the spectacular things that makes us feel unexplainable things. Life is going on. All you have to do is choose to live it. Full of life. Mohegan Sun Pocono.
Hello there, and welcome back to PA Harness Week. She's Heather Vitale. I'm Steve Ross. So nice to see you guys for a brand new season of PA Harness Week. And as we mentioned before we went to break, Heather was at the Dan Patch Awards. She was co-hosting with the other Heather. They were arguing over who was the Wilder Heather, even though one has a surname that is Wilder and this is Vitale. But whatever the case may be, they told some yucks, and we thought you'd like to see them.
Are you okay with me talking about that horrible thing that happened to us yesterday?
I don't know. I thought we were like gonna keep that quiet, but I mean, go ahead, I guess. I mean,
okay. So we're so excited. We were gonna go to SeaWorld, right? Okay, so we're like busting out of the hotel. We start driving to SeaWorld, and it says SeaWorld left. So then we started crying, and we just went back to the hotel.
And I told her, do not be upset. Disney left too.
I know. So yeah, I hope they come back.
I know. You need to get calm. It's okay.
No, you're right. Right.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. I got to give you props. That was decent. That was decent. Okay. I got a joke of my own. I can top that. I can.
Okay.
What is a honeymoon sandwich?
I don't know. What is a honeymoon sandwich?
Let us alone. Good,
That's good, yeah.
Okay. Let's move along now. Heather had an award-winning feature. She went to Ireland. It was a terrific time. Tell us all about it, Heather.
Okay, yes, I got an Award of Merit for Broadcasting Excellence at the Dan Patch Awards. I was so excited about that, but yes, it was for the Ireland feature. First of all, let me just tell you, I went over there, I was with Wally Hennessy, he's a double Hall of Famer from Canada and the United States, Anthony Butt, who is a Hall of Famer from New Zealand, Hall of Famer Roger Houston, and then one of my former bosses, Steve Wolf, who is a publicist extraordinaire. We were treated like royalty, but the great thing about this feature is it takes you behind the scenes. You get to, see about, the horsemen and how they, compete over there. And just to tell you, this race was the richest race in the UK and Ireland. It goes for what's equivalent to our $35,000, okay? We have $1 million races here in North America. So it really gives you an interesting look of racing in Ireland.
In America, we're a bit spoiled. We have gigantic, elaborate inside paddocks. Here, the horses got ready next to their rig, right outside of their trailers. Or inside, if you had a swanky setup like this. And it was BYOW, yep, bring your own water. And there was no running water, but no one seemed to care. The vibe was all about having fun and having the opportunity to compete. One of my favorite people I met was Alexis Laidler. She's the leading harness trainer in England. She and her husband Rocker brought horses in for the weekend, and she brought her winning ways with her too.
Congratulations!
There were several horsemen from England, like top driver Mick Lord, who came over to race, taking both automobile and boat just to get here. And depending on where you live in the UK, it can take up to 10 hours of travel time. And the attitude and love for the sport that the horsemen and women have here is hard to explain, but I'm going to have Roger Houston give it a try.
The term I like to use is the old ABC Wide World of Sports had the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Well, in places over here where they race for harness racing, it's the thrill of victory, the thrill of competing. There's no agony in harness racing. Everybody has a good time. It's just a different mentality, so to speak, over here. And that is one of the reasons I love to come over here, because somebody in the States racing as much as we do, it is truly going back to your roots, so to speak. They've always referred to me as a county fair announcer. Man, this is as close to home as I can get.
Hip, hip. Hip, hip.
The racing and the atmosphere were identical, meaning they were both spectacular. And for any horse-loving fan, I would take a pen out pronto, because this Irish harness racing weekend has got to be written down on your bucket list. There's an Irish proverb that goes like this: a good laugh and a long sleep are the two best cures. I have to admit, I didn't get a lot of shut-eye, but I made up for it with more giggles and fun than I could have ever dreamed of.
Wow, I mean, that was great, Heather.
Thank you.
You didn't ask me to go along. Nobody asked me to go to Ireland. Why? Because I'm not a Hall of Famer? Because I'm not even a decent television person? I'm just not a good guy?
Well, next time I go, if they ask for Hall of Shamers,
yes,
I'll invite you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, stick around when we come back. There'll be more Heather, because you will see from the Dan Patch Awards more awards for Heather, and also our producer, Bruce Casella. And if you're sticking around for my awards, you can go to the refrigerator. Take care.
The world is full of compromises, but not here. Not on this stage, not in this race, not in this sport. Every bet is a hope. Return on investment comes in seconds. This is harness racing. We welcome you to the Harness Racing Fan Zone. See it all for yourself. Feel it in all the passion. Share that experience with others. The Harness Racing Fan Zone puts you in the driver's seat.
Hi, and welcome back to PA Harness Week. She's Heather Vitale. She's the one we're talking all about today. Me, I'm in a little kind of a supporting role that's like this big, but my ego can handle it.
Yeah. Oh, welcome to PA Heather Week. It's a Heather Palooza here today.
Well, then why stop now? Why don't we continue with your award-winning feature about trainer Casie Coleman, darling?
Yes. So we did, well, when I say we, I'm talking about myself and Bruce Casella. We worked together. He's the man behind the scenes for PA Harness Week as well. Anyway, we worked together with some national races on CBS Sportsnet. One of those national races was the Little Brown Jug. Casie Coleman had Mick Wicked in the Little Brown Jug, so we thought it would be a great idea to do a feature on Casie and how she's transformed, and not only visually with her appearance over the past year, but also with her stable. Casie Coleman was on top of the harness racing world. In her early 30s, she was training a successful stable of over 100 horses, had a collection of trophies from major races around North America, and she'd already been voted the top trainer in Canada 5 different years. She was living a dream, or so it seemed.
I had like 120 horses, a lot of staff, a lot of multiple barns, and it was just getting too much, and I decided to start backing it down, and that's what I did. Being overweight and overstressed, Coleman took drastic measures, both personally and professionally. In the past year, she decided to downsize about 70 pounds and 70 horses. Biggest thing that helped a lot is I downsized like crazy. I totally shut things down in the winter. I didn't race anything at all. I just shut down and just focused on my 2- and 3-year-old stakes horses. I was getting very heavy very quickly. I don't know how I didn't see it, but I was gaining a lot of weight, and once I finally hired a personal trainer, I found out all the stuff I was eating and drinking and how bad it was for me. I was feeling like crap. I couldn't get up in the morning. I just always felt tired. I didn't want to work no more. I didn't want to be to the barn. I didn't want to do it. And it probably sounds stupid and spoiled because I've got some real nice horses, but I was just having enough, and I was ready to just get out at one point. Now it's easier to keep a smaller staff than a big staff, and everybody seems happy now. The horses are racing great, and it's been one of my best years yet with a quarter the amount of horses. I feel awesome. The horses are racing good. I love being back at the barn and on the track every morning, and just everything's going real good. I just got a whole new attitude now, and things are going great. And something that could add to Coleman's happiness is another Little Brown Jug winner circle picture to showcase with the 2 she has already. The Canadian native won the jug in 2012 and in 2013, and early this season, she started thinking there was a good chance of a three-peat. Her top prospect for 2014 is Mick Wicked, who's proven to be scary fast. In the Adios,
it's all Mick Wicked!
The Hemp,
Mick Wicked dominating at the end.
And in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes Finals.
The road to Delaware, Ohio goes through Mick Wicked.
There's nothing like it. It's like I say, there's about 50,000 people there that day. It's the atmosphere there is just awesome, and it'd be, I don't even know how to describe it if we did win the 3rd jug. It gets better and better every time you win it, I know that.
Back-to-back's pretty sweet.
Thank you, Casie, and continued success. She is a really great trainer in this business, and there's a few of them. And they're all doing really well, and it's great to see them doing so well. At the Dan Patch Awards, there were many individual awards, and Heather's got those for you.
I do, yes. This is the Oscars of harness racing, the Dan Patch Awards. So, of course, the stars of our sport are the horses. So let's take a look at the award winners. First of all, in the 2-year-old trotting colt division, Pinkman took home the bragging rights. Trained by Jimmy Takter, he won 6 of 8 races, including the Breeders' Crown and the Valley Victory, and took a mark of 153-2. In the 2-year-old trotting filly division, it was Mission Brief. She won 9 of 13 starts, including the Breeders' Crown, and she was amazing with a world record mark of 150-3 for trainer Ron Burke. Moving on to the 2-year-old pacing colt, it was Art Speak, trained by Tony Alagna, winning 8 of 10 starts, including the Metro Pace and the Governor's Cup. And he scored a best with a speedy 150-2 mile. Now let's look at the 3-year-old trotting colt winner. It was Father Patrick, starting for conditioner Jimmy Takter. He bankrolled close to $1.7 million, making him the richest standardbred of 2014. He took a world record mark of 150-2 at Pocono in the Beale Memorial. For the very competitive 3-year-old pacing colt division, we saw Mick Wicked as our Dan Patch winner. Trained by Casie Coleman, the sophomore side wheeler took home $1.47 million and a world record of 147-3 at Pocono in the Hempt Memorial. He also won the Breeders' Crown last year. Up next, we've got the 3-year-old pacing filly divisional winner, and it was Colors of Virgin. This last won 13 out of 18 races for trainer Brian Brown, taking a mark of 151. Her victories included the prestigious Jugette and the Nadia Lobel. The trotting horse of the year was Sebastian K, trained and driven by Okit Svenstead. This high stepper, who competed without shoes, took a breathtaking mark of 149 flat at Pocono in the Sun Invitational, making him the fastest trotter in the history of the sport. The winner of the trotting mare category was Classic Martine, trained by Chris Oakes. This dynamite diva took a mark of 151-1 at the Meadowlands, and her biggest victories included the Ombro Flight and the Miss Versatility. Now, there was a dead heat for the pacing mare division. First, let's look at Andrevet. The PJ Fraley trainee found victory lane in big stakes, like the Roses Are Red and the Betsy Ross at Harrah's Philadelphia. Now, this is her 4th Dan Patch honor, the most of any pacing mare in history. The other winner for the pacing mare category was Rocklamation. Trained by Ron Burke, she earned over $500,000 and took a mark of 140-3. Rocklamation had big wins in the Golden Girls and the Lady Liberty. Now, we are up to the big 3. Trotter of the year, who was also voted 3-year-old trotting filly, was Shake It Carrie. Trained by Jimmy Takter, the gorgeous equine won 15 times out of 17 races and earned over $1.2 million. She shook up her competition with a 151-2 season's best, and she crossed the wire first in the Breeders' Crown and the Kentucky Filly Futurity. The pacer of the year, who was also named the pacing horse, was Sweet Lou. He went on an incredible 10-race win streak against the best pacers in the world. Starting for the Ron Burke stable, Sweet Lou won the TVG Final and the Houghton Memorial. He bankrolled $1.3 million. Oh, and he took a world record mark of 147 at Pocono in the Ben Franklin. Finally, the horse of the year, who was also voted the top 2-year-old pacing filly, was JK She's a Lady, who was flawless last season, winning 12 out of 12 races. She took a world record mark of 150-1, and her big victories included the Breeders' Crown, She's a Great Lady, and the 3 Diamonds. She's trained by Nancy Johansson, and JK She's a Lady became the very first 2-year-old pacing filly in harness racing history to be a horse of the year. Woo! Let's hear from her connections.
I'd like to thank all the voters for this great recognition. JK, she's a lady. She's an unbelievable horse, and we're all very blessed to be around her. I would like to thank the Three Brothers Stable for entrusting me with her. I'd also like to thank her caretaker, Lena Johansson, who's here today. And my husband, Marcus, who not only helped me train her, but also put her shoes on every time she raced. So that was a good thing, because she didn't lose any. And I'd like to thank Yannick Gingras and Tim Tetrick and Marcus, who actually drove her once in a race, for their expertise in getting her around the track.
Congratulations to everybody connected with the Horse of the Year, JK She's a Lady. By the way, if you're wondering who got Trainer of the Year, it happens to be Nancy Johansson's dad, and that's Jimmy Takter. Ooh. She is very well bred, right? Nancy is. So anyway, Jimmy Takter, he trained all the winners of the Trotting Triple Crown this year, and you might remember that he won the Hambletonian, not also training Trixton, but also driving Trixton. I did. Yes, yes.
So DNA is great there.
Yes,
okay,
yes. Right. And also the Driver of the Year, congratulations to Yannick Gingras. He won in purses earned $17 million in 1 year. Amazing. That's like $5 million, I think, more than the person who was in second place for the earnings. So.
And the amazing thing is that Yannick Gingras is Jimmy Takter's son. So more DNA in there. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Isn't it nuts?
I don't
you
think
didn't know
he.
that?
No, I don't think he is. But,
I like knowing stuff
yeah.
she doesn't know.
We'll get Charlotte to do some investigative reporting for us.
Good idea. But in the meantime, stick around. We're going to go back to Harrah's, Philadelphia, when it was Harrah's Chester. Back in July of 2008, the Ben Franklin, 500 grand on the line. And the big guns back then were Mr. Big, an artistic fella. And you're going to see that race when we come back.
Artistic fella sprints off by 2 from Mr. Big.
Life. It all comes down to the things you do, the places you see, the people you meet. It's all of the beautiful things, the incredible things, and the spectacular things that makes us feel unexplainable things. Life is going on. All you have to do is choose to live it. Full of life. Mohegan Sun Pocono.
Welcome back to Pocono. We're in the Rustic Kitchen and happy to be here. She's Heather Vitale, I'm Steve Ross. And as promised, we go back to 2008 and have a look at a terrific horse race. How terrific was it? The final time is still the existing track record today at Harrah's, Philadelphia. It featured a lot of big guns in here. Mr. Big, artistic fella. Mr. Big was driven by Brian Sears, artistic fella Tim Tetrick, and there was also a couple of X Factors in there. Won the West, you may have heard of him, big time millionaire. It's time for our Blast from the Past.
As they race to the far turn, artistic fella a length and a half. Mr. Big has moved up in a second. Mr. Feelgood is gapping the pocket. 1:20.4 for 3/4. They've got 3/16 to go on the Ben Franklin. And artistic fella sprints off by 2 from Mr. Big. Then Mr. Feelgood toward the inside. Special Report has 4.5 to make up. And artistic fella opens up by 4. It's artistic fella with Mr. Big in the center of the track. Mr. Feelgood toward the inside. But it's artistic fella in the Ben Franklin. Artistic fella 148.
Whew. Wow, 148 flat. Artistic fella drew off at the end. Still the track record at Harrah's Philly, and oddly enough, Mr. Big, who was in that race, he equaled the track record a year later of 148 flat.
Wow.
Heather, I want to thank you for letting me be part of your show today, albeit a very small, insignificant part of the show. But thank you, babe. I appreciate it.
I love a Heatherlicious show. I wish we would have more of them during the year. Before we go, though, I just want to show everybody this. This is a history book of sorts. The first 50 years of Pocono, right? And this is my kind of history book because it's all about harness racing. You can get this, it's like, goes on sale while supplies last, opening night.
$3.
Yes, $3 at Pocono. And that starts tonight, the racing starts tonight. And oh, there's pictures of us in there.
Get out.
Yeah,
Ooh.
so you definitely need one of these.
Nice. And don't forget to pick up your free program, 1 per customer, beginning at 5 o'clock here at Pocono. That's going to do it for this edition, the inaugural one of PA Harness Week for the 2015 season. And for all of us here, Bruce Casella, Sharla McBride, my boo, Heather Vitale, I'm Steve Ross, reminding you to pick up the pace just a taste and get yourself high on harness.
It's only natural.